It's not broke, don't fix it, is what we say down in Houston anyway, right? Satan's favorite thing to do is get you alone so he can start whispering, so he can get you to start believing your own negative lies and untruths and everything else. Get you out of community so that he can work on you. You ever get really upset and you decide, I just want to be alone. I just need to think through some things. I don't want to be around anybody and I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm very upset and I just need to be alone to process my thoughts, right? Happens to me all the time, right? And I'll just go for a drive, or I'll go for a long walk, or I'll just close the door and I'll be by myself. And then I start thinking, well, you know, this is how it is, and that's what I think, and I can't believe they did that to me. And if they say this, I'm going to say that back, and if they say this, then I'm going to say that back. And I start rehearsing the argument in my head and how it's going to be. And praise the Lord, I forget all that when I finally get to the argument. But the one or two times that I have remembered what I had rehearsed and said hurt the other person so deeply, because it had nothing to do with their feelings anymore. It had all to do with how much pain I could inflict, which I thought up out of community by myself. It wasn't actually all by myself. I think Satan was there whispering to me. And this is what Satan wants to do to us. He does it all the time. Get you alone and start working you over, planting little thoughts in your head. Oh, that one will take root. Ooh, look, if I just put a little water on it, it'll sprout some more leaves. Oh, there's a flower on that one. Boy, this thing's growing like a weed. And getting the root of bitterness or the root of anger or root of resentment and the roots of I don't need you. I'm fine just by myself. And this is just what Satan does. Now, he's very subtle too, you know. I've got, I don't have it on me, but how many remote controls do you have in your life? Just want you to think about that and turn to the person on your left or right and just give a rough estimate of how many remote controls you think you have in your household for your cars and for your stuff and for your garage and everything else. Count them up. Who's got 5 or more? Raise your hand. All right, everybody's got 5 or more. Sure. Who's got 8 or more, do you think? That's your techies right there. There's always a whole bunch of you, yeah? I've learned something. I really think that remote controls, little remote controls with batteries in them, they're of the devil. They are satanic. They are ungodly. Let me tell you why. The more remote controls I have, the less I need to connect with anybody. And less, of course, I have to call the call center in the Philippines to work something out because it doesn't work. But apart from that, when all my remote controls are working, like for instance, I've got this wonderful gate opener. We have an alleyway. You have alleys here in Dallas. It's very rare to have an alley in Houston for some reason. But I have an alley in my neighborhood. And we have an alley, and I asked Etna when we put in a garage, can I have a gate, an electric gate that like Batcave? Open it. She said, yes, you can have one of those. So I have an electric gate remote. And then I have a remote for my garage door. So I come in my gate, my alleyway, and I don't look at anybody else. All my neighbors, doesn't matter. Get out of my way. I just push my gate opens up. Don't have to get out to open up the gate. Push another one, the garage goes up. Gate shuts, I get out, garage shuts. I have an automatic garage door closer. After 5 minutes, it automatically closes by itself. So I never have to forget if I close the garage or not, right? Because my wife always says, did you close the garage 5 minutes after I get in bed? So no more of that. No more reminding me about things after I get in bed. No, garage automatically closes, it doesn't matter. Then I go into my house, and I have a little remote for my alarm. It turns it off, so I don't have to have anything to do with that. Then I go to my laptop. Even has a little remote on it, so I can click around on it. And my TV has a remote, and all these remotes. And the more remotes I have, the less I need any of you people to even talk to me or be with me. It's very interesting. I really think Satan has allowed technology to keep us from relating face to face with people. Now I have friends that I consider some of the best friends I have. And they're internet friends. I never met them, and I called them my closest friends. There's a guy in Virginia. We're both on the same car forum, you know. There's 15,000 members on this car forum, and we're both on there. We were good friends. We mail stuff to each other. He send me stuff. I send him stuff. We talk. We even talk on the phone. We never met each other. He said, you know, you're one of my best friends. I said, I think you're one of my best friends. And here we make friends with all this technology and all this remote everything. We don't even see each other face to face. Doesn't seem like God's winning in that if we're not looking at each other. We finally met, and he said, you don't look like I thought you'd look. And I said, I know, no, not as good looking, right? Shorter, more hair, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. But you see, this world we live in is going to be more and more technologically advanced, keeping us from having face-to-face conversation. You know, I love Facebook. I have 300 or 400 Facebook friends. I post all day long, every day. I can make some of you teenagers just look like you don't know what you're doing, all right? I am good at Facebook. But it's a kind of a community, but it's a pseudo-community. It's not a genuine face-to-face interaction. And sometimes you're willing to share much deeper things online because it's a little more anonymous. But the truth of the matter is we need more life on life because this is why God created us. And Satan would like nothing more than to keep us from having any sort of face-to-face conversations with one another. You know, and this is why in church we have a family here. We know each other. We see each other every Saturday night. But life is busy. We've got kids that have to go to school. We have shows on TV. I've taped a lot of stuff, man. When am I going to end up watching it, right? When I could be relating to you, that's when I'm watching my tape stuff. And I'm not watching any less TV. I'm just watching less commercials now that I can zoom right through them on the DVR. And it just seems to be working that way. It just seems to be that the way the world is working, there's less to less relationship going on with all of the additional technology and everything we do. Here in Philippians, we see something very important. In Philippians 2, I want to challenge you to read the book of Philippians. It's not long. How many pages is it in your Bible? Let's see. 1, 2, maybe 3 pages. We're not talking about a lot. I'd like to challenge you to read Philippians every day this week. It'll take you maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops. Read Philippians every day, the whole book. You can say, I read a whole book of the Bible today. You can tell everybody at work that. They'll be very impressed. They'll think it was like Leviticus, right? But because they don't know these things. You can tell them it was Philippians. And they'll think you're a Bible scholar because you read a whole book of the Bible. And but what I want you to remember is when you read it, anywhere it says you in the word Philippians, it's y'all. It's plural. So I want you to be Texan here when you read this. So let's read it with me, okay? And it's over there. And I'd like us all to read it out loud, and I want you to practice your Texan because y'all is singular. Do you realize that? How y'all doing? I'm just talking about you. But when I say how all y'all doing, I mean how are you doing and all your family. That way I want to report about your whole family when I say all y'all. But when I just say, hey, how y'all doing, that's a southern thing, then it just means you, right? That's singular. Y'all does sound like you all, but it's really singular. So all y'all is plural. And here in the Greek, that's plural. You means you all, or all of you, right? So I want you to say this out loud with me in Texan. So again, I want you to read this like a Texan. Put on your twang, okay? You know how we sound, so make it sound like this. Therefore, my dear friends, as all y'all have always obeyed, not only in my presence, but much more in my absence, continue to work out all y'all's salvation with fear and trembling. For it is God who works in all y'all to will and to act according to his good purpose. When you understand that the author of Philippians was talking about everybody entering into working out this free gift that God gave them, it's like you're given this wonderful gift and you go, now what do I do with it? You didn't earn it. It was given to you for free. But what do I do with it? I don't know how to do. I don't know what to do with this. This is special. See, and we come down to an understanding of the difference between what we hear in church most of the time is, and it's really appropriate for Sunday or weekend services, is, you know, you need to be released from the penalty of sin. So give your heart to Jesus and you'll be released from the penalty of sin, which is death, right? And then over here, when you die, or we all get raptured, way down here at the end of your life, wherever that started, The other end, we're being